Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ben, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the best daily discipline to realize the divine. If you're new to my channel and you're wondering, well, how the hell do you know? I'm a meditation and spiritual teacher, and I was very blessed and fortunate that my dad was also a teacher. So when I was 6 years old, he introduced me to meditation, and it wasn't just his influence. I actually ended up being taught by his teacher, who was a divine master, an avatar. And alongside him, he put me on to other divine avatars and teachers that are, some are alive, some not alive. One notably being Mother Mira, who is alive at the moment. She is public. She's known as the Divine Mother. And actually what she prescribes as being the fastest way to realize the divine is very similar to what my teacher also promoted. And it's what I'm going to talk to you about in this video. So if you're interested in meditation and spirituality, I do have an online school. It's called the Inner Journey School. I'll put a link to that in the description below. So what is the best and fastest way to realize the divine? I'm going to break this down for you in a way that will hopefully open you up and allow you to understand this concept a bit more, because I know it took me a little while to understand this when it was first taught to me. And by the way, it's not meditation. So if we were going on holiday in this physical realm at the moment. So let's say I'm in England at the moment. And let's say, for argument's sake, I wanted to go to Italy. So Italy's there. And I wanted to get a one-way ticket to Italy. And I wanted to experience for the next month everything that Italy has to offer. I didn't want to think about coming back. I wanted to go to Italy and I wanted to experience all of the variety, all of the amazing scenery, the amazing food, the language, the people, the culture, everything that it's got that the UK or the England doesn't have at the moment. I want to experience that there. So I bought, or I'm going to, for this analogy, buy a one-way ticket. And the purpose is, so it's a one-way ticket. And the purpose of this one-way ticket is purely for experience. I want to experience what I can't currently experience. So I take this journey. And in a similar way, when on a spiritual level, we're coming from the divine and we're going on this journey to the physical. And on the physical, we're experiencing everything that we couldn't before experience in light form. So we're coming purely for this experience. We're coming to be able to eat, to smell, to taste, to touch, to feel pain, to feel pleasure. Everything that we experience in the physical realm, much of which we can't experience in the divine realms because we're in a light form, we're allowed now to experience. We're in a position where we can experience all of that. So in a similar way, if I was to get a one-way ticket to Italy, I would first have to orientate my thoughts and direct that towards, okay, I want to go on this experience. Likewise, once I've spent, let's say, my month in Italy, so I've spent a month in Italy, I've had all the good food, I've seen all the people that I wanted to see, I've had all the experiences that I wanted to have. I have to start the process of coming back. And what starts that process in the physical form is that we start to have this feeling of, okay, I'm satisfied. We start to feel like, okay, there's nothing more to any great degree that I want to experience here. Or the desire to come home is greater than the desire to stay. So it all starts with a thought. So at some stage, we get this thought. Maybe there's more. But sticking with this analogy, we have a thought, okay, I'm done with all my exploring, I'm done with the experience here. I want to start my journey back home. And in order to do that, we have to get our passport. We have to start looking at flights. We have to start packing our bags. Basically have to start orientating our mind, and in particular our thoughts, with the UK, with home. So I have to start thinking of all of the things that are that are necessary for me to get home. And part of that is also the vehicle. So in this analogy, of course, the vehicle is probably going to be a flight, or you might drive, or get a train or whatever. But to keep things simple, the vehicle in this analogy is a flight. So I have to get my passport, I have to get all of those things, I have to check flight times, I have to see how I can get to the airport. All of my thoughts now aren't directed to the experience and aren't involved in the experience. The thoughts are involved in home. I'm remembering again my home. I'm remembering where I've come from. And this is what we have to start to do in a spiritual manner, is that at some stage, once we've collected all of the experience and we start having this desire and these thoughts, I wonder if there's more, this can't be it, these types of things, we then are reorientating ourselves away from the world. We're not letting go of the world totally, but part of ourselves is moving away and saying, there's got to be more, I need to go home. And obviously from the spiritual point of view, as I mentioned, we've come from the divine. So we're moving then from the earthly plane back to the divine. And in order to do that, similar to this analogy, we have to find a vehicle. We have to start orientating ourselves in that way. We have to start aligning ourselves with the divine, because the most powerful thing that we can do on this physical plane is think. Everything starts from a thought. So the kind of thoughts that we engage are incredibly, incredibly important. And so one of the best, to start with, there's 2 daily practices really, but the very, very best one, and this is one that, as I said at the start, Mother Mira emphasizes, my divine teacher emphasizes, and that is remembering the divine. And when Mother Mira says it, I get the feeling as though people just sort of sniff at that and think, well, that's not a legitimate spiritual practice. I want something profound. I want to do something, I want to be moving energy up and down and opening this chakra and focusing on this and focusing on that. That's the human part of us that wants to make things very elaborate. But what I've always loved about avatars and real advanced teachers is they keep things incredibly simple. And Mother Mira always emphasizes, offer everything to the divine. So that's one other thing. Offer to the divine. Offer everything to the divine, and always remember the divine. And in the same way that I explained with this analogy, that we start to remember all these various things that we need for the journey back, all of it starts with a thought. When we're working our way back to the divine, or God, or the source, whatever you want to call it, by remembering the divine constantly, we're orientating ourselves in that way. And because by the law of attraction, everything that we start to want, we start to bring into our existence, we start to bring it into our reality. The universe is like a genie, and whatever we start to sort of ask that genie for, eventually, when we want it enough, when we put enough work in, we will start to manifest that reality. And the divine is the same. If we want to work our way back from where we are now on this physical plane back to the divine, if we want to ascend all the levels, all the planes, and just realize the divine, then we have to start orientating our thinking to the divine. So remembering is absolutely essential. And when I say remembering, it's going about your day, and when you're picking up a pen, you're not picking up a pen, you're actually picking up God. You're picking up the absolute there, because there's nothing in our reality that is not the divine. So in every interaction of your day, when you're walking around and you see people, you see a dog, you see a fly, you get in your car, you can remind yourself this is the divine. Sounds really weird, but it's a habit that you can train yourself into. When you see someone across the road, you're not seeing another person, you're seeing the divine. When you see a dog, you're not seeing a dog, you're seeing the divine. They don't know that, and the people may not know that, and the pen doesn't just suddenly jump up and say, yeah, I'm realized I'm the divine, but that is a manifestation of the divine. So in every moment of your day, you can be remembering it. And what that does is it creates this connection between you and the source. And everything that when you're starting to fill your mind with these divine thoughts, remembering the divine, praying, Obviously, meditation and things like that supplement all of this as well and are very important. But obviously, I wanted to focus today specifically on things within our daily discipline outside of meditation. Remembering and offering everything up to God is incredibly, incredibly powerful. And some people have said to me before about offering up, like, what does that really mean and how do I do it? And it doesn't make sense. So I'll explain a bit about that. When I talk about offering things up to God, it doesn't mean it has to be a nice experience or a negative experience. Any experience comes from the source. It might be karmic, it might be what we've created, but ultimately the very essence of it is the divine. So it shows a great amount of humility to recognize that and say, I recognize that this experience is a divine gift. It wouldn't be possible without the divine. And as a sort of token of my gratitude and humility, I want to thank you for this and offer it back to you. Of course, the divine doesn't need it. It is the divine. You're offering the divine back to itself, but it's the symbol of it. It's the symbolic gesture. It's also giving you an opportunity to remember again in that moment God. So as we start to orientate ourselves back, we then gravitate ourselves and everything else starts to manifest that we need. We start putting in the footsteps, we start meditating, we start doing things that are actually going to progress us back home and eventually realize the divine. But it all starts with our thinking, our thoughts, and the fastest discipline to realize the divine, as straight from the mouth of two divine avatars, is to remember the divine and to offer everything to the divine. Alongside that, meditation and everything else is helpful as well. So I hope this makes some sense. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. And if you do want to be part of my meditation and spiritual community, it's called the Inner Journey School. I'll leave a link in the description. We have loads of live lessons throughout the week, meditation lessons. It's an incredible community inside. So if you're an earnest spiritual seeker, you'll really love it. But other than that, I'll leave it with you and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much.